Good morning, class. Welcome. You have about, it's 10 days now till class starts. So I'm sending you this email, well, it's actually a video, but at the link to the video and the email that I'm sending you, you figured it out because you're watching this and you click the link, so I get it. My name is Stephen Weinert. I am a professor at Cuyamaca College. I have been teaching at college at Cuyamaca. I've been teaching college. It's summer. My brain's a little fuzzy. Anyway, I've been teaching at Cuyamaca since 1996. This was my first semester there. And it's 2024. So I don't know. I can't do math. It's not good. I've been full-time since 2001. I started teaching in 30 years ago in the fall this year. So I've been doing this a long time. I really enjoy it. It's one of the things that I look forward to doing. I look forward to getting to know everybody. I look forward to everything that's going to happen this over this summer. So one of the things that I think is really important for y'all, and this one I'm recording this video now because you got 10 days. We had a lot of folks in my eight week class just turn in AI stuff, and so let me show you how to do it just in case, let me show you. Hold on. I should have checked what tabs I have open. Oh, well. Oh, phew, nothing interesting. Okay. So, so here's the AI that I use a lot. I like this a lot because I can do things like this. Can you translate this into Arabic for me? And oh, it used to do this. Interesting. Um, as of my training data, I do not have real-time access to. Well, okay. So, huh, never mind. That's what I used to use this. Yeah, this makes a really good video. Okay, so let me go back to my first discussion post, and I'm like, okay, and copy and go to here, and let's see if it works. Let's see, explore, new, pop, paste. Maybe that didn't work. Paste. Interesting. I should have checked this before it worked. Let's see. If I go back to my history, maybe all my chats up here. What I do is I take all of here's one of them. I take all of my assignments and dump them into chat. This is the Poe. This was working until I tried it again last time. And then it gives me answers. See the answers right there? Yeah, that right there. Those are answers. Is it good? I don't know. But what happens is some students will just copy this and paste it in there, and they'll paste it in the assignment, and everything seems legit and seems fine. The problem, let me go hit stop here, stop the share. I'll have to go back and look at that again. Stop share right there. Okay, so the problem with doing that, A, you don't learn anything. I love this stuff. I've been doing it for 30 years. I don't expect you to love it. I expect probably five of you to like go, yeah, psychology, this is awesome. And the rest of you are like, yeah, I need to get rid of this course. So it's not a problem to use AI. Use AI, it's a very good tool. Back when we were kids, we had the Encyclopedia Britannica. We had all these encyclopedias in our house that we looked through, and that gave us information. Whether it was valid or real or not, it's depending on the year of the encyclopedia. Fast forward to the days of the internet, this thing called Wikipedia showed up. People hated it. Faculty jumped up and down. It's the end of the world because students are just copying stuff off of Wikipedia. It's not necessarily true. Well, it turns out that Wikipedia is now pretty good because enough people have looked at it that they fact check it. Um, so move fast forward. Now we have AI, and AI is pretty dang cool. It's really fun. I haven't actually looked at it the last couple of weeks. Excuse me, I'm slouching and need coffee. Coffee, summer coffee. Anyway, so it seems to be pretty good, but here's the problem. It's superficial. And when I superficial, it doesn't give any depth. It doesn't give any warmth. The new GTP does sound like like a real person, and 4.5 is even cooler. You can have a real-time discussion with it. And, one of my neighbors is a not political scientist, computer science guy, and he's saying, "Oh yeah, you can have a full-on discussion to it. It does pauses and it does everything." Like, That's interesting. Let me think about that. Okay. And then so it actually interacts like a real person, except it doesn't think so well yet. What I really want is I really want your experiences. I want to hear what your connections are. I do not want a specific answer. I want you to answer the question. If you don't know what a good answer is, put what you think, read other people's posts, and then update what you think. You're not supposed to know the answers. You're supposed to look at the material and find an answer within yourself to answer. Now, so this is a week class, 6, those, that many. So what we have is each week there is going to be, let's see, about 3 chapters of work, which is insane. But so what we do is each week for each chapter, you guys have to ask a question. So I'm going to ask you to please look through the chapter. There's a bunch of TED Talks that go along with the book, and I want you to look through, just go through those on early in the week. And then I want you to, when you're going through, I want you to ask a question, something that you've always wondered, something that you thought of. Ask AI for your favorite questions. Don't give me questions that are just basic knowledge, like what is the brain? I get that one. It's there. It's good. Don't give me questions that are very basic. I want you to give up something that is challenging. For me, I don't need to learn the class, but I am constantly learning from you. I know the content, but I constantly learn from you. I want to know how what we're talking about matches what your experience is. So when you ask a question, hey, this happened to me, I understand this, but how does psychology explain it? Perfect. Okay. Those kind of questions I really like. And the goal is to try to build a knowledge base of the class based on your experiences. You have your life, I have the content. I'm going to record videos every couple of days. That's the second part. There's just like this. I'm planning on doing a lot of fun things this summer. I had my best friend passed away from cancer a couple months ago, and I've decided that I'm going to do a bunch of crap that he and I said we were always going to do, but we never ended up getting around to doing. So I'm just going to get around to do it. Like, for example, there's a track meet coming up next Wednesday. Um, not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday. You don't care because you don't know when you're watching this, but June something. And I'm going to put today. My hand really hurts actually. I haven't thrown shot put since 2011 or 12, and I threw in college. And so I'm going to throw. Why? I don't know. It seems like a good idea. But I'm going to go for a mountain bike ride tomorrow morning. I'm going to go up to the Eastern Sierras fishing. My wife is turning 50 this summer. I'm turning 54. We are going to Hawaii for 10 days in the middle of class. So I'll be more tan and there'll be tropical things behind me in a couple of the videos. Hopefully, and probably my son walking by making animal noises because he's 17 and that's what he does. And I can speak 17-year-old because that's cap. Uh, anyway, so I'm trying to think of other slang that he uses at me, but I just kind of ignore most of what he says because he's pretty awesome. He just got on Academic All-American Academic CIF team. He got all team CIF voted, which means that all the coaches voted that he was awesome. And he plays volleyball and he has a wonderful girlfriend. And if he is better than me, I win as a parent. So he can never win. Oh, sorry. Hope your parents feel the same way about you. Moving on. Um, Last thing of rambling. I want your life experience in the course. I want to hear who you are. I don't want a bunch of superficial AI. So, last part. The way the grading works, very simple. If you meet the criteria, you get a criteria met. If you don't meet the criteria, I say, please revise. If you dump AI in without editing it or putting any personal experience in there, or you just copy and pasted AI, you get this has no soul. And then you don't get to fix it. So if you do a crappy job, you get to fix it. If you turn in AI, you don't get to fix it. So how do I know it's AI? Well, AI has its own voice. And I can show you if you ask me how to make AI have a different voice, and you can upload a bunch of your work into AI and train it to your voice, and then it can write for you using your voice. Yeah. You have to pay for that one though. But then you'd have to do a lot of work in order to not do any work. Mm, I like it. Okay. So please, AI is a great tool. It's fun, it's awesome, but it doesn't help you learn anything unless you use it to learn. Don't use it to do the assignments. Use it to learn what to do the assignments on. Ah, don't fight it. Use it. All right. Let's think something else. I found an old TV show that I used to love to watch back in the early O's on YouTube, and I've been watching like all the old series. It's so fun. All right.